Hello and welcome back to the United Devil channel with me, JB. Wakey wakey, are you awake? Just yet, not long off a stream a couple of hours ago and already back, my friends. We're already back with some absolute blockbuster news, blockbuster action. I promised that I would be back on here if I saw anything significant or I thought it was significant. I go back indoors for a little bit, and lo and behold, I see stuff kicking off. Now, there is some stuff from Fabrizio that has come out in the last couple of hours from David Ornstein about 4 hours ago, talking about Baleba, talking about sort of how we're looking to do this deal, how on this chat we've said him, we've already said this evening we've already looked at Baleba's stats. We know that he's an absolute defensive monster. He's an absolute beast of a kid. Just absolutely ridiculous stats. Now, it's transpired over the last hour or so. I've missed this as well. So the United stand, I've gone early on this to them. So big up to them. They've gone early doors on this one as well, because I think that's a player that I think the team want over there. And I think that they need to get first in on something as well. So I think that they've gone early doors on that one as well. I'm just looking up to see if I can get his stats up really quickly. Get Baleba's stats up. No, that's Adam Walton. Do I can get Baleba's stats up? Perfect. I've got those stats as well. So where are we at? So it looks like this Baleba story, it was a pie in the sky. It was what we've spoken on here for a little while, when we've been saying on here. Again, I'm going to say to you, if you get an opportunity to get into this chat, please do. We have the best community on here. My commitment to that is, irrespective of how I'm feeling, I've got to be feeling really unwell not to jump on here and not to update you when I feel like there's something worth talking about. So, what's worth talking about? So, the United stand, as I say, they're not the source of this, but they've gone live on the fact that they've gone early. They've gone early on this one, saying that they think that we're going to get him. So for me, I respect the team over there. Watched the channel for a very, very, very long time, and they don't hit all the time, but I think they tend to go where the sources are. Now, where I go is somebody that I follow called Ross Harwood, and he's already hit massively on Shesko. We said on here for the last couple of weeks, days, that we're really easy on Shesko. We know that that's going to get done. So what the pattern of that one was that Pletigo came in and said, look, we've been talking to Shesko for a couple of weeks. Fine. Romano, Ornstein kind of all went on it, and then Harwood went on it hard as well. Now, a similar pattern has happened again. So Ornstein is kind of, and Fabrizio's have come up on this and gone, well, we've now switched targets. Romano has actually a couple of days ago said that we were going to go for a significant midfield player as well. Now, my logical brain starts to work in like overtime, and I starting to look for these little signs. They followed that back up today with Baleba a couple of hours ago, that Baleba is possible. We're exploring that deal. It's transpired again, so there's some reports coming out there now, and Ross Harwood has now come out with this, and this is what is said. So it's official. This is officially Brighton want 90 million. This is pounds plus 10 for Carlos Baleba. United are looking around 70 million total. Now, the main part of this, and this is a constituent of this, is that Baleba himself is reportedly planning to step in and ask for Brighton to lower the transfer. Now, you may say, well, this is not a big thing, right? This is not a huge thing. No, this is an absolute huge deal. We've gone from talking to him, maybe talking to him, to talking to him, us talking about him tonight. So this has all been confirmed by Fabrizio for Ornstein that we are in for Baleba, and I'm in on this. I'm in on this ride. You know, there definitely is no smoke without fire. The position that I'm in with this now is I think that United are trying to use David Ornstein, are trying to use Fabrizio to try to get this price down. Now we all know Brighton drive a hard bargain. Now, interestingly enough, Brighton quoted Chelsea for Pedro 80 million plus. He was sold to Chelsea for 50 million. So if Baleba is willing to push those negotiations, if Baleba is willing to kind of push that down, then I think the valuation of about £70 million, I think, is roughly about there or thereabouts. Now, those reports are early about United are willing to do a deal around £70 million. And I think, realistically, I think that is in and around the price that you could get a Baleba for. Now, I'd love to know, anyone in the chat watching, and I know this is probably off of the back, so the United stand has already gone on this, but I don't think they've gone on the price, because this has literally just come out in the last 22 minutes from Ross Harwood. Now, Ross Harwood, so far, so good for me. He has hit big time on Shesko. Talking about this 2 to 3 weeks ago. So Ross Harwood has gone hard and gone early on this as well now. So this is where we are on it. Now, I can tell you where I'm at on this as well. So I know we chat on here quite a bit. This is a sort of a little bit of an extra one on here. Is that I now think that we're in for Baleba. I don't know how, I don't know who, I don't know where this money has come from. This chat absolutely loves him. We've spoken about him today. We've done a video on him. We've done some of his stats. We've spoken about how he is a defensive absolute monster. I'll see if I've still got some of his stats up, and I'll see if I can put some of those on the board for you now. So the reason why we want Baleba is for these stats here. So if we're looking at a tackling, interception, block master, then look no further than this kid. 21 years old, 90th percentile for interceptions, for blocks, for clearances. This guy is an absolute monster. This kid is an absolute beast. And this is why we are looking at this kid, because he's an absolutely phenomenal athlete as well. And I think for the fan base, I think certainly for the chat on here, and this is a legendary chat, so I suggest if you get an opportunity to get into this chat, because this is an absolute fantastic, amazing chat on here. Very, very fortunate to have them on here. So if you have just joined and you don't know, Baleba of Brighton, believed to be a pipe dream on here. We've been talking about this player now for a couple of weeks. He's come into the chat. I think he had a fantastic season last season. Absolutely phenomenal player. Ornstein, after the Shesko stuff has come out and pretty much done, Ornstein, Fabrizio have come out and started talking about this deal, talking about how we are looking at, and I'm going to talk to Brighton about a deal for this player, Baleba. And in the last 25-26 minutes, Ross Harwood, an independent guy who I've trusted, who was right, who was totally right on the Shesko stuff, I said this, that, let me tell you what he said. Official. This is an exclusive and official. Brighton want 90 million plus 10 million, and this is pounds, so 100 million package for Baleba. United are looking around 70 million in total. So the money's there, they're off by a bit, but the money is there and they're looking to spend that kind of money. So what that does is it gives you an indication of what it is they're trying to do and what it is they're prepared to do for a midfielder, for the right midfielder. This was confirmed by Fabrizio that United are going to make a significant a significant midfielder signing this summer. Money is suddenly not an object, and this is what they're going to do. Also, Fabrizio has come out and also said that Amorim admires this player, and this is what he wants to do. The main part of this deal is going to hinge on whether Baleba himself will reportedly step in, which I believe he will do, and ask for that price to come down. Now you need to factor in a couple of things here. That Brighton always do get a good price for their players. Now obviously it depends on what they believe Baleba is going to be worth. Now remember, Chelsea were quoted 80 million for Pedro, and they got 50 million. So they're going for 50 million. So if we're sort of looking at those deals, if they're prepared to take 30 million off 80, now I think they'd be more than prepared, hopefully, to take 30 million off that 100 and maybe do a deal for 70, 75 million for Baleba. So basically that is where we are. This Baleba deal, we've already done a video, so this is an extra one on top. This has only just come out. This has come out the last half an hour or so. So we now have monetary values floating around. Brighton want reportedly 100 million, so 90 million pounds plus 10. This is million pounds, by the way. United want to pay around about 70 million. They value the player around that, 21 years old. And again, when we're looking at the prices of these deals, this is why, again, I think that this deal is perfect and sums up what it is that we're trying to do. If you're looking at what Liverpool have done with their players, Wirtz for 110, 120 million, and an Ekitike deal. If you portion those deals out over 5 years, portion that out over, depending on how many payments that a Brighton will want. When you portion that over, and you amortize that as well over 5 years, and this player is 21 years old, you can amortize that over X amount. By the time he's 25, 26, you've paid it off. So the length of these deals for these young players, particularly this young player, and I do think Liverpool have started this trend. So I almost think that thanks to Liverpool doing this with Wirtz, with an Ekitike, has opened some eyes as to the deals that we can actually do. And this is another Ineos deal do. So from a financial perspective, this actually totally makes sense. Because if you look at the age of the player, the length of the contract, the length of the deal, instalment-wise, maybe you do it over 4 instalments, 20 million a year. And this is what we need to start looking at these deals. This logically totally again makes sense. So from another logical perspective, I think this makes sense. And again, I think I'm with Fabrizio on this one. I'm with Tulip Plays, who comes into the chat and talks about this all the time. I'm with Ross Harwood on this one. I think we're going to try and get. I think we're going to try to get this deal done. I think that we're going to try to get this Baleba deal done, and I think we're going to try and get it done double quick. I think we're going to look to get this Baleba deal done in and around about 70 to 75 million pounds. I think that is what we're going to do. The more that I think about this, the more the deal that it matches up to Shesko, matches around that price. This player is ready to go. He's ready to go. His stats make sense. You're getting a world-class midfielder. For me, it was a case of, could we afford it? And I think we can. I think we actually can do this. I don't know where we're getting the money from as of now, but I think we can get this deal absolutely done. And I think Brighton will do this for probably around about 70 million, maximum push at 80 million. And I think even at that, I think that is I still think that that's a bargain when you think about Wirtz going for 120, never set foot inside the Premier League. Baleba is a different player, but we need that player. 70 to 80 million, maybe 70 plus 10. I think this deal absolutely makes total sense. So if you're watching this and you're in the chat, I'd love to know what you think. I'm going to try not to make this video too long because we have already done a video on this already. We've gone through his stats. It's already there if you want to watch the stats. I'm going live with this now, and I'm going to say I think we're going to do this. I genuinely believe, from a logical perspective, if Baleba comes out, I do think there are a lot of spinning plates here. I think that Baleba needs to come out and try to push this deal. I think if Baleba does come out and say, look, I'm going to push this deal, I want to go, can we bring this price down? I think Brighton would be silly not to do it. So if you have just joined, reports and everything else have been starting off all day from Fabrizio, Ornstein, etc. about Baleba, about United looking to do a deal for Baleba, looking to try to do something around that deal, and this has escalated. You know, there is concrete talk there. Fabrizio a couple of days ago said that we're going to do something significant with the striker and the centre midfielder. I think we have looked around. I think the pre-season tour has shown us what we don't have in our team, what it is we need in our team. It would be stupid not to try to do something for the Champions Leagues, for the European places. We need to get up as high as that. Fabrizio confirmed that we're going to do something significant with this position. Baleba is the one we've all been talking about in this chat, and sometimes dreams do come true, guys. Dreams absolutely do come true. And we're going to got Šeško done, and now unbelievably, I think we're going to go and get this deal done. Ross Harwood, I'm going to big him up again because he's absolutely hit on the Šeško stuff. You know, on the back of what Fabrizio said, Pletigol said, Chilip plays, hey Jack Black, chicken, lava chicken. Chilip plays, again, you're here with me, and I think you're right. I think you're spot on. I think we're right on this one again. I think we're going to have another Tulip, JB, here we believe go. I genuinely believe it now. I think as I said, I'm getting that feeling again that I had with the Šeško deal. The logic is lining up. You know, when I think there is a little bit more to do here, but I do think when you're looking at what Fabrizio said a week ago, maybe into last week, about what it is we're trying to do with this position. He said we're going to make a significant signing on this position. I assumed with Šeško that was going to be pretty much all of like the money, and we're probably going to do like a loan deal. But Fabrizio's adamant that we're going to do something significant here. We all spoke about Baleba. Tulip plays, went hard on Baleba. Absolute, just all in on it. And I think that's where we're going. Carlos still needs to qualify a keeper to get Onana out the nets. Carlos, I agree with you, my friend. We do. We really, really do. But I think at this point, I think Lemens, I've said it. Lemens, I think, comes in. Sergej Reed said Baleba would be an amazing signing. I think in Burma, Cunha, Šeško, Baleba will be transfer window done. Unfortunately, I don't see us getting a keeper because no team wants our keepers. I'll happily pay 100 for him. If so, we had 90. It is a good price. Exactly. I think we will get a keeper. I do. I think Onana stays, but we go Lemens. I do. I think we go Lemens. I think we go for a backup keeper. I think there's no point, as we said today, going for a Ferrari or a Porsche, having the best engine, the best in size, and then having crap tyres. There is no point in that. So I do think that we go for a keeper, but it's not going to be a glamorous keeper. I say that now, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows at this point? If you're getting it into the chat, so this is where we're at. This is where we are at. We went early today on Baleba. We spoke about him. We spoke about Fabrizio. I'll tell you where this has all come from. Fabrizio, basically a couple of hours ago. Ornstein, this is starting to ramp up. We're in for Baleba. We're starting to talk. You know, he doesn't say things unless it's real, unless it's true. A couple of days before that, he did say, just before the Šeško deal, that we were going to do something significant in both the striker and the midfield deal. That is what he said. Ross Harwood Then followed that up, basically saying that Shesko is going to get done. He believes that deal will be done. We went early on here. We said it. We've remained calm. And lo and behold, when everybody around you was losing your head, we believed. And there is one also caveat I will say as well to all this that I've only just thought about. It may not be a thing, but we can talk about it as well. So J United, hey buddy, hope you're doing really, really well. Just give me 1 second. I need to listen out for something. I thought the dog was barking. We've got this little dog, and he loves to bark, and it's late here, so he'll wake up the whole bloody house. So Jay is here. Hi mate, I'm good, thank you. I always feel like I'm on here, but this is exciting. This is what I love. So those of you in the chat, don't forget to give us a like, favourite, and subscribe. Even if you don't like me, I'm happy. But that's fine. Get in for this amazing chat. Magnifico88 says, yes, lad. Yes, my friend. I hope you're doing really well. Don't be stingy. Get in there with the likes, favourite, subscribe. We bring you content. Who's that team we call Man Utd? Exactly. Who is that team? Exactly that. So I'll tell you where, again, I'll start again. Tell you where this has come from. New Crowd has Baleba got the right passing ability that we need in the midfield. I think we need the tackling stats. He does progress the ball. His passing is good. He's perfect. I genuinely believe he's perfect. So there is a video that we did before this one, and they put all the stats on there. So feel free to check that one out. Everything is in there. Hope you enjoyed the Watkins versus Shesko. So get that in there. So where this has come from, and I'm going to give you my logical opinion as well now, like I did with the Shesko deal. I'm not going to take credit for this one. This is a chat thing, right? So Fabrizio Romano comes out and basically says, before the club agreed to focus in on the Shesko deal, he said that we were going to do something significant with both the striker and the midfielder. So Shesko goes ahead. Okay, logically it all makes sense. Age, wage, length of contract, total Ineos thing, right? Then we're under the impression then that basically then that's it. We're going to do a loan deal. This chat has been hankering for Baleba. We've spoken about him, how he was going to be this amazing player, potentially this amazing deal, and it's pie in the sky because he's going to be expensive. Brighton don't do deals. They're notoriously hard to deal with. They always get their money. Okay, now Shesko, we remain calm on here, so feel free to come here. We remain calm on here, and we were right the whole way through. Ross Harwood was right. We went early on Ross Harwood, never right out of Manchester United. Yeah, and we went on that. So then we started kind of thinking about where's next. Okay, where do we go? What midfielder do we go next? And then a couple of hours later, Romano Ornstein are talking about Baleba again. Start talking about Baleba and how United have inquired. We have inquired. Fabrizio Ornstein have come out. I think United are pushing this. They're pushing this. They know what they need to do to get this player done. So Fabrizio then comes out and says that. Then the United Stand do a video after ours, I might add. Okay, now why for me I mention them is because they don't tend to do stuff, whether you like that or not. They don't tend to do stuff unless they've got some sources on, unless they sort of think that's true as well, right? But that is not an indication to me. But we did a video before that talking about the play stats, why we want the player. We discussed it for quite some time. So all that's up there. Go and take a look on that, okay? Happy with that. And then I go inside And then lo and behold, we then get the following update. So we get from Ross Harwood, and again, I go with him. I trust him because of the Shesko stuff. Is that we get this official. So this is official that Brighton want 90 million plus 10 for Carlos B. United are looking around 70 million. Now, the main part of this is that Baleba himself steps in and asks to bring that price down. Now, don't forget, Chelsea were quoted 80 million for Pedro and paid 50. Now, all that indication, if you're looking for indications, this is very similar to the Shesko deal. This is very, very similar. Let's have a look what we're saying. The main difference between Baleba and Caicedo is I think they're very similar players. I think Caicedo's turned out very, very expensive. Baleba, I'd have to do the stats on it, but I think Baleba potential, and unless somebody corrects me, I think he's probably just a little bit more powerful, a little bit better with the ball. Definitely a proper defensive, powerful defensive midfielder. What else was saying? Magnifico, really not convinced on Shesko. I'm not prolific enough in a weak league. He once had just 5 goals in 27 games in the Austrian league. Now he's 22 years old. I mean, I get that, but if you're looking at his stats until now at 22 years old, he's pretty much, of all the strikers in the Premier League now, he's probably second or third. And yeah, it's a gamble. I mean, if you look at for example, the Ekitike stats, they're nowhere near. They are nowhere near his stats. So I think Shesko is a gamble. I think he's a bit rough around the sort of edges, but I think Shesko is a worthy risk. I really, really do. So I guess whether we're convinced or not, time will actually tell. But I think the best that we could do right now, I think he's probably the best of the rest. And time will tell. I think we just get on and support him, give him what he needs, and let's see what the kid can do. So this has been pushed forward now. So when you put 2 and 2 together, you really do start to get 4. And I'm convinced that this is now going to go like the Shesko deal. I think we've put the feelers out there this time. I think we're using David Ornstein. I think we're using Romano to try and get Baleba to do something on this deal. I think we are prepared to pay money for this deal. I think we're prepared to pay 75 to 80 million pounds. He's from Cameroon. And Nana is from Cameroon. Is there a link there? Is there something that maybe we can do that? When you deep dive into Shesko and think about Amarin's system and style of number 9, Shesko is a bit of a gamble, is a major gamble. I think sadly Jay and big time on those number 1s. Now Ollie Watkins, I think we can again. I think we can basically debate this until the cows come home. As you say, mate, a real goal scorer is not having 5 goals at any age. He isn't scoring that more than 16 league goals. Magnifico again, and I will back him for sure. He's no Haaland, but compared to Haaland path, and again in those leagues you have to have a goal a game. He's not close. I think that's again. I think that many people share that opinion. I think Haaland. There's not many strikers who are Haaland. I think as much as we want to find the next Haaland, there's not many people that develop into that until they're later on in their career. So a Gyökeres, for instance, he's only really become prolific in his proper prime at 27 years old. He's coming into that prime age. He's only getting a goal a game now. Watkins, for example, he wasn't pulling up trees, but he's been pulling up trees the last 2 years. 27, 28, those sort of prime years. Haaland is just a different beast. Haaland's he was born to do this. I think comparing people to Haaland is like trying to compare people to Cristiano or Messi. That's an extreme example, but I'm just talking about in that position. You don't get many people of that age in that position who can do what they do, and Haaland has managed to do that since he was a kid. So I think I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying. I agree with you on that one as well. He's not one who creates. He creates them, but when you do look at his goals to minutes overall, they're actually not too bad. But I absolutely, it's a gamble. The one thing that I will agree with you on is it's a risk. I think he's the best of the rest. And Jay, legend of the chat, Chilip, like these guys, and as you know, they come up with these stats, and I completely agree that it is a risk, but I do think it's a calculated risk that we needed to make, and I still go on the stance that I think when you compare him, which we have done, there's some videos out there that we've done, we've compared the stats. In my humble opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, is that I do think he's one of the best of the rest, and we've got some potential there. So let's see if he can live up to that potential. If for now, if he can get us 15 to 20 goals, I mean, to get 20 goals in the Premier League, get 15 goals in the Premier League, I think is a tricky one to do. So I think maybe we are putting pressure on him already. He's gonna come. He's gonna join. I think we just need to hitch on for the ride. Nish fan says, "Oh my God, Baleba, are you a believer? Because I am." Even or Rob, another legend of the chat. Nish fan says, "The 1958 protests are going into another dimension if we get Baleba. I want staff rehired. If we're this minted, apparently we completely skint." Exactly. I mean that. I think that's a conversation for another time. Lucky Singh says, "I want Apadou and Nana from Aston Villa." I'd rather Baleba, my friend. Yeah, I 100% respect your opinion on players, my friend. But yeah, Onana for me, Baleba over Onana any day of the week. We were overstaffed to begin with. Other teams have 700 staff. We had 1,100 or so. Magnificat 88. Hope we can get 15. He certainly should be, Bruno. Exactly. And I think Magnificat, again, I think you hit the nail on the head there, my friend. I think that if he's got those players behind him putting the balls into the box, 6'5", you know, if Chris Wood can get 15, 20 goals a season, or was it 15 goals? I really hope that Shesko can get at least 15. Amadou Solo, but Baleba will be world class, and I do agree. So if you have just joined us, 34 viewers in the chat, don't be stingy, give us a like. Nearly 12 here, doing this a couple of times a day. Just give a like for the chat, that'd be absolutely amazing. Some great people in the chat. Carlos is in the chat. Baleba, who is our fan base, thinks Manu is. We shouldn't have spent 80 million on Baleba. Manu should be the man, but isn't at the moment. I think with Manu, I think it's such a sad state of play with Manu. I really think it is. I like Manu. I've always liked Manu. I don't know what's going on with him. I think Amrin possibly just doesn't like him. I don't know why. Manu, when he came, was tearing up trees. I think he was absolutely fantastic. And I don't know what's happened. So it looks like we are once again gonna do what we did with Shesko, and I'm in the camp of what are we saying here? Niche fan disagree. Those people were part of the fabric of the club and culture. We're meant to have a staff as the biggest club in the world, not a massive debt that we have to service. And Niche fan, I fall somewhere in between that. I think what Ineos have done to this club is disgusting. I do think that what they did to the staff is they've cut the workforce by quite a bit. Now, Were we overstocked? Yes, 100%. I think the reasoning behind it was absolutely disgusting. How they did it was disgusting. Maybe we did need some sort of reorg. I don't disagree with that, but I think that we absolutely just, just. And again, are they trying to buy fans? That whenever we do stuff like this, this is we can just get up into this debate and sort of talk about this for a very, very long time. Is that are they trying? Are they actually trying to do right by the fans and the club, or are they trying to buy? So let's see where this ends up. Lucky Singh says Rasmus Holland 30 mil on a bike. I think Rasmus pretty much goes. Saying glad staff are sacked, not doing their job properly. Lucky mate, you're not gonna get any comment from me on that one, my friend. I think if you have that opinion, then that's on you, my friend. I don't share that opinion. That is your opinion. I'll let you. I let you in the chat deal with that one, but I certainly don't share that opinion. You don't keep what is not necessarily cruel world. I don't agree with it, but it's business to them, and that is who we're dealing with. I think that is an Ineos way to do things. I really, really do. We need a tackler, someone who can control the midfield, and that is what Baleba is, I believe. Carlos B. I get it, Tulip. I'm just upset about stuff. No, I absolutely niche fan, and I think that we all do. I think 100% agree with you. I think it's disgusting what's happened to this club, and I think that Ineos are a business, and that is what they've done. They've almost come into this club and stripped it down. Now we can park that. I think that is but again, you can come back in with that one. Of course you can, but I think that's probably one that we wait for the end of the window, and then we can do a big massive debrief of what we think about that and everything else about what Ineos has done. Ari K says, for me, cancel Shesko and look for a midfielder tandem for Baleba, the one who can keep the ball and build the game from the back. If we sign Baleba, that would be amazing. You can play Bruno in the midfield. Saying, I like way spend on Carrington. The best midfielder on the market was Jasiri from Bruges. He can do it all, but only wanted Milan for some reason for 32 million. And again, making some really, really good points here. And again, this is almost where I wish Baleba. I think is a fantastic signing. Why aren't we making these signings before they go to a Brighton, before they go to a Milan, before they go to a Bruges? Where in it do we go before that happens? So we can pick these players up at that time. Almost feels like the Baleba signing could put the 1958 into the background, and this is it, niche fan. This is what finally acting like a big football club. This is sadly what the Glazers do. And if anyone is under any illusion that the Glazers are still not part of this club, what do the Glazers do? Time and time again, they spend their way out of a situation. 1958 put out a statement, and then lo and behold, Baleba is on the card. So is this what they're trying to do? Is this what they're trying to quell already? And that's a very, very good point, Ishvan. Again, I think you've made an excellent point there. Is this what they're trying to do? Is this what they're trying to push the whole 1958? The statement has been put out today. The statement is there, and are they going to counteract that with a player? And that is what we're going to have to see. So this is where we are. I'll go over it one more time. Excuse me before I go, because I'm going to have to go to bed because I'm absolutely shattered. A couple of hours ago, Fabrizio basically come out and basically say that United have approached Baleba's camp to inform him of the player's situation, because we wanted to know. Brighton plan to keep him, which means obviously they want a load of money. Ornstein said the same, and then this evening we did a video on it comparing stats, because I think there's sometimes there's no smoke without fire. We've come off of that. This chat has been going nuts on it for a long time. Baleba, we need We need him, etc. Lo and behold, Ross Harwood has come in and basically said this in the last 40 minutes or so, that official Brighton want 90 million plus 10 for Carlos Baleba. United value him around 70 million. Now, the part of it is Baleba has to go in and do his bit and get the signing done. So that is pretty much where we are on that one. And it looks like it's going to be a good day. I truly believe, and I'm going to say this now, I truly believe that we are now in for Baleba. Very much like Shesko, I think we went early doors on this. I'm going to go early doors on this one as well. And so I do think that we're going to go in for this player. We're going to push as hard as we can. I think it's going to take Baleba to do his part. But I do think now we're going to go and we're going to go get Baleba. Maybe I'll be wrong on this one, but I do think that... you did wish it into existence. I think we're going to get this deal done. I have the same feeling about the Shesko deal. It makes total sense from a logical perspective. I'm not somebody that just thinks these things up and just goes on a whim. It makes complete sense. Romano mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. We've gone in for him, I believe, tonight. It makes total sense. Age, I think wage as well. I think length of contract, the type of player he is, his stats. I think it's completely, totally makes sense. And I think that is what we'll do. And I think we will push this hard and we will go fast. And I think we're going to start seeing these reports coming out tomorrow over the next couple of days, and we're going to start seeing United pushing for this. So we're going to start seeing Shesko things. We're going to start seeing this as well. I think by tomorrow evening we're going to have some more things to talk about. So it gets it really exciting. The chat, fantastic chat again tonight, just for this little short show. I'm not going to go too long on this tonight. So Glazers out. Rasmus could be sent out on loan. I do agree. I think he will be. The Glazers had to do this at Ineos where they're shield as long as the 1958 we're backing them. Niche fan, I agree with you. I think this Baleba deal, it's funny how it's sort of turned now. Let's keep an eye on that. Let's see what the 58 do in retaliation. Let's see how this develops. What's the max you'd go up to for Baleba? I think 90. I think Brighton are notorious for holding their price. I think we'll get this deal done for 90. I think we'll get this deal done for 70 plus 10. But I think for this player, I'd probably go for 90, because ultimately, this is where I'm at on it. As long as we get a goalkeeper, a significant keeper, I really sort of don't care how much we spend, because it's not my money. I want to spend it elsewhere, but now we've got Cunha in, Mbeumo in, Shesko in. Those are going to come in. Baleba and a keeper. I'm absolutely convinced that we're going to get a keeper as well. So I think we need to temper our expectations for a keeper. I think Lemens is going to be done. I think that's going to be done. Baleba gets done. And then I think that we will get him for about 75 plus 10, so maybe 85 million. So I think that is probably what's going to happen. So I do genuinely think now that we'll get him for about 85 million, and we're going to watch this develop over the next couple of days. So guys, thank you for being in the chat. Legends of the chat as always. Lucky Singh, Carlos, Tulip Plays, Jay, Niche Fan as always. Jay United is in there, Rob is in there, Tulip Plays of course, Magnifico 88, I think I've said Carlos, Harry K, who else we've got in the chat? If I mentioned everybody, I think Carlos. So only going to be a short one tonight, guys. I'd absolutely love to just continue to talk this out with you all. I think this is a fantastic chat, as always. All legends of the chat, I appreciate your time. You can't buy time. I always say this, you can't buy time, but you've given me your time tonight. Again, for a minute, 40 minutes. It's fantastic, and I cannot wait to come back again. I physically have to go to bed because I'm absolutely shattered. Just amazing again, guys. Absolutely amazing stuff. Just keep an eye on this. We're going to be doing this quite a lot. I should imagine I'll be doing this quite a bit. And yeah, if anything else does break bigger than this, I'll try to jump on. If not, I'll probably see you in the morning. We can go through this again, start chatting through this again. There'll be probably a little bit more stuff out on it. I just wanted to break it as early as I could, get this out there. It's fantastic. So thank you all for watching. Legends of the chat as always, and I'll see you again on the next one. Take care and good night. See you very soon.